I'm Jason Waller here with the BAM podcast. That's right. Business, attitude, money. I am here. I am super, super excited for the guest to come on right now. She's a badass. She's been a hot item out there. I've been following her on Instagram. I'm like, this girl's dope as shit. I want to get her on the show. She can teach the listener something. She's she's like a sales mecca here. She came on in this bomb ass green outfit, high energy, talking about all the products she represents. She's born in New York, moved to Frisco. She's got an incredible story. She birthed the company Girl Hold My Hand Incorporated, known across the world for multi-level marketing and direct sales, helped thousands of women to embrace their authentic selves, which I love. I've got 3 daughters and a granddaughter, so I'm all about that. So none other than Coach Stormy Wellington. How you doing, girl?
So yes, I'm super happy and grateful to be here with you. Definitely looking forward to sharing all of my knowledge and as much as I can with the listeners. I know that whatever time you give me will be very well used, and I'm sure that the listeners will get a lot of information out of me as well.
Yeah, no, and I'm excited. I think we'll be able to go back and forth on some really good stuff, good information for the listeners. And a lot of my listeners are entrepreneurs, male and female, people that are trying to get in the game, people that have been in the game, people that are exiting the game and looking for the next thing to get into. And you're in a lot of stuff. Like, I was looking at your Instagram, I'm like, yo, Stormy's in a lot of things, which is exciting because a lot of people just kind of do one thing. Do you got ADD? Because I got ADD and I like to sprinkle dust places. Do you have ADD?
No, I call it ADB, attention deficit benefit. It's a benefit for me. It's not
That's
a
good
disorder.
thing.
I don't have no disorders.
Well, good. I'm going to steal that then, and that's what I'm going to be, okay? I'm going to do the same thing there. So let me ask you this. I know you're a motivational speaker as well, an entrepreneur. What kind of challenges, like what puts you on the map to start doing entrepreneur, opening your own first business and motivated you to do that and to be a motivational speaker?
Well, my first business was not in the field that I'm in now. I started off as an entrepreneur in the fashion industry. You know, before I had my daughter, her father and I got together and we opened up a boutique. So from then I was about I was actually 18 years old when I opened up my first boutique, and that's when I understood the power of buying something for wholesale and selling it for retail. I was very, blown away that you could pay $10 for something and sell it for $50. So I love the margins. And so I did very well as a retail traditional business owner. And then I got introduced to network marketing. And when I got introduced to the industry of network marketing, that's when I was blown away at how you can not only make money off your own efforts, but you can also make money off of the efforts of others. And so when you say I got a lot of businesses, is that I'm in one network marketing company, but we have multiple layers to that company. So it seems like I'm in a lot of different things, but it's just multiple layers to that one company.
So when you got started, I say, you got the founder of Perfect Storm Collection, SW Active, Wells CBD. You got Girl Hold My Hand Incorporated. And you've got these businesses and multi-level for folks out there listening, MLM, Amway, there's a lot of big companies, ACN, a lot of these companies out there. The whole thing, it kind of works like a normal business. I've never built an MLM business. I've built other companies, but the layers are kind of the same, right? You get a salesperson makes X, then their manager makes Y, then their regional makes X, then their director makes Y, then the ownership makes Z, and it goes all the way up. And it's very similar to MLM. People don't realize that because sometimes people are like, oh, that's mid-level marketing. That's actually a good thing because they can be in a community and have a group of people that they coach, train, work with, mentor that are on their branch that can also perform and everybody's winning, correct?
True. But the thing about network marketing versus a traditional business is there's no ceilings. You can make
Correct.
as much money as you want. So I'm not in the corporate structure where I get a payroll or paycheck. I could say I'm going to make $1 million this year, this month, this week, and I could work and really do that. But in the regular corporate world, you may get a percentage, but it's not as massive as it is in network marketing. So I make like 30% off one stream of income in my company, and then my company pays overrides of over like 67%. So that's not normal. So the numbers makes it different. The ability to capitalize on the compensation is what makes it different.
Well, I know you're big into fashion. I've got some pictures here of you wearing some hot shit. Some dope stuff, all over the internet. What drives Coach Stormy? What pushes Coach Stormy to be the person that she is?
I don't ever want to go back to the person I used to be. And that could be as early as last week. I evolve every day. Like every day, I learn something new every day. And I know who I used to be. I knew who I was when I was 15. I knew who I was when I was 20. I knew who I was when I was 30. And now I'm 43, and I just don't ever want to go back to struggling. I don't ever want to go back to worrying. I don't ever want to go back to, wondering if I'm gonna make enough money to pay my bills. Like it's a fear. I just did an interview right before this, and I tell them that it's two fears. It's a fear that makes you stop, and there's a fear that makes you go. And I decide to be driven by the fear that makes me go. And the fear that makes me go is that I don't want to stop living this lifestyle. Like I love my lifestyle. I love waking up when I finish sleeping. I love being able to help people. I love being able to serve people. I love being able to grow in my authenticity and then go back and help people. So I'm just helping the person that I used to be, and I refuse to go back to the person that I used to be.
Amen, girl. I always call it AGB, always getting better, 1% every single day, and not looking back, because we're always chasing our future selves, right? And I like that you talk about that's what drives you. You don't want to be the same person you were even yesterday. You want to be better today and even better than tomorrow than you are today, which is important. The other thing I noticed on here, you're not only a self-made millionaire, but you're also an author, right? Talk about your book that you wrote and what it meant to you to become an author.
So I've actually written 4 books,
Okay.
and really and truly, I didn't write a book to become a best-selling author. Even though everything I do it with excellence. I wrote the book because I truly believe that success leaves clues. When somebody becomes successful, it's their responsibility to leave behind the things that they did to become successful, so that we can help other people to become successful. So every book that I wrote is an educational book. It's not just an inspirational book. It's a tool. It's a tool that you can implement the things that I've done to become the woman that I am today. And so what better place to put, your systems and your philosophies than into a book. So my books is just tools for people to be able to have applications to do the things that I've been able to do.
What kind of struggles did you have growing up and getting into business, Coach?
I have that story. I call it Rich Dad, a rich mom hustling dad, and I call it rich dad. I mean, rich dad hustling mom. I call my dad rich because when I was growing up, I was able to see the best of both worlds. My mom was a drug dealer. She sold drugs. She was in and out of prison. She, exposed us to everything. My mom kept no secrets, and so I was able to see my mom live this like fabulous life, but yet and still it was very inconsistent. And then my dad, who had a job working at transit for 29 years, I saw him rich with his wife and his kids and his family, and he had vacation. But I also saw my dad have to go outside and shovel snow off his window to go to work. So having the contrast, I wouldn't say it was a struggle, but it made me realize that I didn't want to be like either one of them. I wanted the rich and the family like my dad, but I wanted the freedom like my mom, but I didn't want to feel like I had to go to prison. And so a lot of my struggles, I would say, came from the things that I experienced growing up. And I tell people to this very day, I'm working on healing all of my traumas. All of us have childhood traumas. Mm-hmm. All of us. Nobody is obsolete from it. And so every day is a new day to heal whatever trauma could have happened yesterday. So that's my biggest challenge, to make sure that no matter what, I don't get comfortable. And I know that there's another layer to me. A lot of people get stuck in one aspect of who they are, one perspective, one place, one position, one title. But I'm really focused in this season of my life and making sure I embrace the totality of Stormy, unapologetically. Like, I don't care what you may think of me. It's multiple layers to me. I'm multifaceted, multidimensional. So that's one thing. And then as an entrepreneur, a lot of entrepreneurs, such as myself, we came up in environments where we didn't see successful entrepreneurs. Right. My mom was a street entrepreneur. So, of course, I'm thinking that the only way I could be an entrepreneur is if I did something illegal. I never saw a legal business structure in my family. I never saw anybody run a real business and pay taxes and have payroll and, reorder inventory or whatever. I never saw that. So I had to do a lot of work and learn from a lot of mentors and coaches to become the woman that I am today in terms of entrepreneurship as well.
Which you're a great, inspiring woman out there. People are huge fans of yours. I told you in the community that's similar of coaches and speakers out there that we both know, everyone talks highly of you and how valuable you are out there to other women who inspire to do great things, how you want to help others, and how you've got a really unique personality that draws people in. Like you attract people in to want to learn and hear more from you, which I think is important. You know, I think when you cover about everybody's got trauma, you're absolutely right. Like everybody's got their own stuff, and social media is a platform where we can share the good stuff and sometimes the tough stuff. And we see too many times, especially, you know, I've got 3 daughters and a granddaughter, with women who get caught in comparing themselves to other women and having insecurities, right? They're watching certain women that their bodies look like this, or their outfits look like that, or their lifestyles like this. What would you say to some of those females out there that are struggling when they're looking on social media at other people?
I mean, number one, you know, comparison is the thief of joy. You know, the more you compare yourself to somebody else, the more you're going to steal your own joy. So be careful the things that you create for yourself. I think it's a beautiful thing to see another woman and to be inspired by her. Like, I think it's beautiful you see a woman and she looks good. Instead of being jealous or trying to be like her, look at her and say, wow, she's beautiful. She is real to me and I can look like that. I'm always affirming. Like, if I see something that I like, I would say, wow, look at that house. That is real to me and I can have that house. Or like yesterday, I went to a beautiful hotel and I love the ambiance of the hotel. And the whole time I'm looking at it, I'm saying, wow, this is real to me and I can have this in my penthouse. So I instead of looking at somebody and trying to be like them, admire, you know, inspire, and go and do the things that you need to do within your own self to feel whatever you're feeling from that person. Go do the work to create that feeling for yourself. So if that's lose weight, if that's go learn something, if that's get rid of somebody, if that's change your clothes, if you like a girl, her hair or her body, go do it. Now, you also got to respect that social media is a platform that allows you to edit and allows you to use filters and allows you to Photoshop. So be careful that you're not trying to be a Photoshop version of somebody in your real life.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's the issue. So just know that social media, it is what it is. It's okay to use it as a place of information and inspiration, but don't try to be like nobody. It's the best thing. Listen, authenticity carries the highest frequency. So the more authentic you are within yourself, the higher your attraction power, your magnetism is going to be, and that's going to help you to acquire whatever level of success you're desiring.
Amen to that. Very well said. And I love you talk about comparisons, the thief of joy. My wife says that all the time. So she would agree with you and concur that that always happens. And yet she gets, you know, caught in there, stuck in that moment of comparing herself to others. And I always try to say, like, I get excited like you do. There are certain people in life, in my opinion, there's 3 categories that people fall into at different stages of their life. One is kind of where you're at now, and where I feel like I'm at now, where you love to see greatness, you love to see success and beauty, you appreciate it, and you yearn in a good way, a good envy of, oh, I can have that too, and I can do these great things, and look at these great people, and you promote and love success. Then there's a second group of people, which I know I've been in this before, growing up in different moments of my life, that are kind of like Homer Simpson, and they just they get real insecure and they hide behind the weeds and they don't want to be noticed, and they're watching a little bit and they're just insecure. They're not haters, but they're just insecure and they don't know what to do, and they hide, and they feel out of place and they feel less than. And then the other category, which I feel like we need, but there's a lot of them and it seems to be getting worse, are the haters. The ones that your success is their failure and their failure is your success, and that they blame and they point fingers and they watch and they stalk and they hate and they drag down, and all they're doing is really making their life worse and making the people they hate on's life a little better. What do you think about that?
So interestingly enough, you know, I like to read and learn and grow. And I was reading a study, and the study was done by Harvard. As a matter of fact, my good friend told me about this. One of my very successful friends, and I started reading up on it. Harvard did a study, and the study was on people. And according to Harvard University, it says that 4% of the world is going to be leaders and visionaries. 4%. And for 4% of the world, you're going to have 4% of the world that's going to be haters. Literally, this is a study. So 4% successful visionaries, leaders, 4% haters. That means for every leader, it is an equal hater. That is just law. It's nothing we could do about it, okay? And then you got your other 92% of the world that they're in limbo. They're going to either go on the side of the hater or they're going to go on the side of the visionary. My job is to show up as my authentic self to make people desire to go on the side of the visionary and the leader. So I could care less about a hater. You know, I really don't even think about them. As a matter of fact, my heart goes out to them because as you hate, you're going to continue to attract things to you that you could hate. So I just know that when a person hates, it's just something that they're dealing with within their own personal self, and there's nothing that I can do about it. And I know that they stay over there in that 4% category. But my goal is to show up so powerful that one day I could even convert a hater. That's how strong I think I am. I'm so strong I could convert a hater they trying to figure out why I love her so much. I done converted you over.
That's right. Turning a hater to a fan or to be part of your team is the best thing you can do. That is the ultimate, that's the ultimate blessing right there. It's like, hey, they hated me, but now I got them to understand the greatness of life and the opportunity that we have and what we can do to better ourselves in life. So, you know, I always talk about battles and blessings, and we go through battles in order to get to the blessings. I'm a big believer in faith. Eric Thomas is one of my friends and mentors. I know you didn't know ET, but I love him so much. And he's one that, like, when I hear him speak, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the energy I like to have, right? I believe in. And one of the things me and him chopped up about recently was I was telling him in the battle, the battles that we go through in life, we can either look at them as battles and hold ourselves down, or we can look at them as a gateway, a bridge that when I get through this battle, there's going to be a blessing. There's something to be learned. There's something to be gained, even though it seems tough. It seems raw. It seems unfair. It seems hard. When you get through it, you're stronger, you're smarter, you got more wisdom, you're prepared. You've gained something from that. What do you think about that?
I think pain will teach you what pride won't allow you to learn. I think that pain is just an indication that it's something that you need to do. You know, I think it was the Army. Is this the Army that says pain is weakness leaving the body? Yep. So pain to me is a beautiful thing. Most of us learn from the pain. We grow from the pain. It's not, we don't learn how to ride a bike because we got on it and we just pedal correctly. We learn to ride a bike when we fall and we skid our knees so much. We like, okay, I'm sick of this. Yeah. We don't learn how to love until we learn what it feels like to be disappointed and to be used or to be manipulated. And then we figure out how to love because we got sick and tired of something. So pain to me has been major pivots for me. Every pain point created a pivot for me. So I embrace pain. I appreciate pain. Pain is my friend. And so long as I feel like pain is my friend, pain can never conquer me. And so that's just my attitude. And, I come from some very treacherous beginnings. So I can't let nothing destroy me. I watched my mom take her last breath. So what worse pain can you experience than watching your mom take her last breath? So nothing really hurts me that bad these days because that was the hardest thing that I ever had to experience.
Yeah, and that's a good lesson for people to hear and understand that you have to embrace the pain sometimes. You can't let it control you or dictate you or conquer you, because then you're not going to see those blessings. You just stay in the battle. It just never ends, right? The one thing I talk about all the time is the difference between a buffalo and a cow. Do you know the difference? I'm about to tell you, girl. So you got a lot of wisdom you're dropping on my listeners, and they're going to love it. But I got one little thing that I shared. I did it on a TED Talk.
Give it to me.
I'm going to give it to you, girl. So the difference between a cow and a buffalo, when a storm comes, the storm is coming through. A cow sees the storm, turns around and tries to run away from the storm. A buffalo sees the storm, puts his head down and runs right through the storm. The reason why the cow is running away from the storm is they're running away from their problems. They're running away from their fear. They're running away from their anxiety. They're letting things control them. They're nervous. They're scared. All of the bad stuff is chasing them, and it just never seems to end. They're in that storm or battle so much longer. Where a buffalo runs through it, and they see the light, they see the blessing, and they get through that storm. They face it head on. I did a TED Talk about it, of how important it is for us to have like a buffalo mindset and not be like a cow and run from something, but run towards it. And so your personality, when you're like, I embrace pain, it went ding. It exactly is like a buffalo mindset. Let me get through this mess and this nonsense to get to where I need to go.
Absolutely.
You like that one?
Pain is my friend. I'm the buffalo. You know what? You right. Cows, you could look at a cow and a cow get to running. I'm the buffalo. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
That's a good one, right? Like, you're definitely a buffalo. Like, you're a buffalo all day, girl. I could tell you say, here's some shit, I'm going to deal with it and go on to the next thing. So you had a reality TV show, correct?
Correct.
Talk about that, because I'm getting ready to do one. I got Amazon reached out to do a Bam Fam one, entrepreneur shitstorm from the boardroom to the bedroom, and I don't even know how to start. I got camera crews came in and did some stuff. What's that like? How did it go? What was the experience like?
Okay, so my show was different. You got to imagine I had to hold a space for like 6 women.
Okay.
Women are very emotional. They could be very bipolar. They could be very hateful. So my show was different because I was the big old boss. The show was called The $1 Million Hustle, and I was the coach to 6 women, and these are the top income earning women in my company. So it was a lot. It was very heavy. I had to deal with their bad days. I had to deal with their insecurities. I had to deal with the baby mama, the baby daddy, and the baby mama of the baby daddy did this, and it was just a lot. It was a lot, but it's who I am. That's how I became the person that I am, because I can handle a lot. But what ended up happening is that in the midst of us filming, we actually completed 12 episodes. Like, we got paid money in the bank. We started premiering the commercial throughout Lifetime, and then I got a call one day, and they said, "We're sorry, but we can't go to show. We can't go to air." And it actually was a great day for me, because that show was during a very deep, dark season of my life, because I was dealing with things not just with business partners, but I was dealing with things with my family. It was just a lot. And so when they told me that the show wasn't going to air, I was a little disappointed, but I was also relieved, because what happened was, in the network marketing profession, there's a lot of laws. So we broke a lot of laws. So I would tell you this: be very careful. The FTC has a lot of laws. So in my profession, I can't just pull up with my Rolls Royce and my Birkin bags and all my drip, and they like, Birkin bags $65,000, Rolls Royce $500,000. That was a part of the show. We could have got, I could have got a lot of lawsuits. Every law that I broke, every rule that I broke according to the FTC, held a like $40,000 fine. And I think just for one episode, I did like 10 fines. Like, it's crazy.
Oh.
So I got saved. So now what I would tell you is, a lot of times the networks, they don't know what you can't do. So if I was you, I would do my due diligence to know what you can and cannot do, to not be in the place of having liability.
Yeah, because you got to get approval from all those. You got to get approval from Rolls Royce if you're rolling in or dripping with the bags. You got to get approval.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. That was fine. In network marketing, like, I cannot legally tell you how much money I make every week. I can't legally say, "Hey, I made $50 million in the last 8 years. You should join me." That's enticement. I really can't even be walking around like, I've had my company ask me to stop carrying my Birkin bags. Literally, they like, "Can you just carry one Birkin bag?" Because that's enticement. "Hey, can you stop wearing so much jewelry?" Or, "When you wear your jewelry, can you blurt out the jewelry?" Because it looks like I'm trying to entice you, that if you join me, you can make as much money as me. So I understand it. So we broke a lot of rules, and it turned out to work in my favor, because I didn't want the show to come out anyway.
Yeah, that's a blessing then. And so that's something that we'll have to watch for, because part of it is the show that we're going to do. And part of it's following my family, because I'm this big boss. I had 2,400 employees, lost this company, built this thing, top 5 podcasts, done all these stuff, got some new businesses going. But it's more like, you ever seen Bar Rehab, where the guy goes in and he's like fixing their bar and going? I think it's, I'm trying to remember the guy's name, John Caffer or something, right? And he goes through and he fixes their bar up. It's all broken. Mine's going into businesses and kind of rehabbing it. But the bigger story that they're trying to push, and they're asking me to do, and they just started filming, is my family. I go home and then I'm checking myself at the door, because my wife's more bossier than I am. My 3 daughters are putting me in place. There's chaos going on. Me and my son are outnumbered. We're playing zone. Like, it's rough on the streets there, right? And then they're pissed off because they're used to having this great lifestyle, and things changed a little bit, and they're bitching and complaining about, we can't, we fly in private here, we doing this, and they're just not used to the normal, I grew up in a trailer park, didn't have money, and it's chaos, right? And so they're trying to film that through and see what the show does. So, but I know it'll help push the coaching thing. Which brings me to
Congratulations. At the end of the day, everything is about marketing, promoting, becoming big. That's what I loved about it. I love the platform and the opportunity to help people through my teaching and my messaging. So congratulations. Have fun with it.
I will. And let's see if it does anything, because it's just going to be, premiere on Amazon. Maybe it does something. Maybe it doesn't.
Will do something because you're going to make it do something. That's what you do, Mr.
That's
Bam
what
Man.
I'm doing, girl. That's what I'm trying to do. That's right. So let me ask you about coaching. I'm a new coach, and I'm always picking, coaches' brains and mentoring me. When did you start getting into coaching? What do you love about it? Who are your best mentors you've had?
So I been a coach my whole life. If anybody could tell you about me, they could tell you I was always that girl that was trying to make everybody around me better. I'm talking about since I was 7 years old.
I can
So
see that about you, by the way. I could see that.
yeah, I've really been that. Thank you. I've
Yeah.
been, and it's not that I think I'm better. I just want everybody around me to be their best. If you're around me, we the best. Not I'm the best, but we the best. So I've always had that type of coaching personality. But my name became Coach Stormy. It really was on accident. Probably about 10 years ago, my daughter was trying to tell me I need to get on Instagram. This was when I think we were still on MySpace. And she goes, you need to get an Instagram name. And I went to Instagram, and she actually went to Instagram and put in Stormy Wellington, and it was already taken. So somebody had my name. And my daughter, this was 10 years ago. My daughter is the one who said, Coach Stormy. And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't even know back then that Instagram was going to turn into being such an amazing platform. Over 2 billion people touch Instagram a day. So I created that name. Well, my daughter gave me that name actually 10 years ago. And so you already know what happened. It's power in speaking things. So I had to step into the name. You can't be calling me Coach Stormy and I don't have no students. So I grew, became the woman that I am, and in my first year of getting back into the swing of things, see, I'm not a regular coach. I'm not somebody that you could pay. If you pay me to be your coach, you would pay me $100,000 a year. Okay. So I really cater to an audience that would be like $100,000 a year. Dang, what's that? I can't. That's a lot. People that I'm catering to is still struggling to figure out if it's worth $100, and I don't mind that. That's just who I care to really pull up the most. So when I started to step into that space was really through network marketing. My vehicle to be a coach is through network marketing. I think it's very hard to make money as a coach. It's not easy making money as a coach unless you're coaching them in a particular vehicle, or if you have had like just optimum success at something, then that becomes your niche market. You coach them in that niche market. So my niche market is multi-level marketing. I coach people in multi-level marketing.
I like that. Do you know who Dan Locke is?
No.
So he's an Asian guy out of Canada that's one of the best coaches I've ever seen. You ever get a chance to meet him or get on a show? I should do an introduction one time. He made $100 million last year coaching and selling courses. And here's his niche. So I met him and I'm like, I'm all ears. You made 100 million coaching? That's great. Let me hear, because I had $1 billion company and lost 400 million last year. Let me see how you made 100 million helping people. That sounds exciting. And he starts going through, he has a niche market into tech companies, right? And he's really white collared. Like he's not, he's not as cool or as street as some of us are. He's unrelatable in some aspects, but where he really helps me out and gave me the education, he goes, listen, and it's what you just talked about. He said, Jason, not a lot of people have built companies from the ground up. I built 4, 3 worth over 10 million, 1 worth $1 billion, made 3 great exits. And then the last one crashed and burned and I lost $400 million, right? I lost everything in that business. And it was because of product liability issues. So I built this company up, was the best solar company on the planet. And then some things happened, lawsuits everywhere. It's a nightmare. So here I am, pick up the pieces. What do I do now? I'm 43 years old. I'm trying to figure out my life. I don't have any debt. I have some money, but I got to do something. I want to help people. I've got all this knowledge. He told me, he's like, listen, you've built 4 home service businesses, home security, flooring, solar, things like that. He said, you should be a coach in a niche market for home service companies, for guys that have this great trade, guys and ladies that have this great trade and experience, but don't know how to scale their business, don't know how to do digital marketing, don't know how to brand, don't know how to, get sales teams and coach them and mentor them and grow them, don't know how to scale the operational side and have that niche. You would be a monster there, like Grant Cardone is on real estate. You could do for this. And it sounds like for you, for network marketing, you have that niche. And so when I was talking to him, I'm like, I don't even know what to charge. And he has 3 programs, $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $250,000 a year. So he has a clientele and he's like, look, based on what they make and their business is the level they fall into. So he kind of gave me that idea. Then I had Wes Watson on. You know Wes, don't you?
No.
Big steroid guy walking around bald with the beard. He's kind of a hot item lately. You haven't seen him? Okay, he's a maniac, but great maniac. He does coaching and he's crushing it, making, 10, $15 million a year coaching and helping thousands out. But he's got like a community program that he charges like $400 a month on. They get on a group call. He does all these things, helps them with their weightlifting, helps them become a coach, all of these things. So two completely different dynamics. So my vision was, because I'm so new in this and I wanted your opinion, I've layered mine at $5,500 a month or $55,000 a year, $7,500 a month or $75 a year, or $10,000 a month or $100,000 a year, based on the level of business or amount they make. Because if they make more, I have to invest more to move the needle. You get this, so they got to pay more of my time. But then I thought about doing this group thing for $349 a month, where they can get into a BAM community. And in that community, they all can work together. I get on an hour call of Q&A every other week. They get access to things and they get a discount, because every coaching session and every group session I'll turn into courses. I'll sell the courses and they'll get a discount on it. What's your thoughts on that? I'm still new to this, but that's what I've come up with so far.
So I don't know if you realize, but me and Dan Locke, if that's correct, if I'm saying that correct, we said the same thing. Like, you have to have a niche. If you once you become ultra successful in any particular area, nobody can tell you that you don't have the knowledge to teach somebody else how to do it. So once you know you have that, oh yeah, you could go crush the coaching space. Now I will say this. I have a community, and to be frank with you, I started it just in a very empathetic place. So it's too cheap. We meet every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. and it's $49 and $69 a month.
But I thought about doing that because I ain't got a lot signed up yet. So listen, I'm still all ears.
Here's the thing. You money is very important, right? I cannot be Stormy Wellington if I'm broke. I'm gonna be stressed out and it's gonna be over with for me. So let's put that like on the table. Like, I need to make some money. Okay?
I get it.
My time is valuable. I just learned the other day I make $5,000 an hour. If you look at my income, I'm at $5,000 an hour. So when I go on live in the morning with these women, it's about 300 women every morning. I'm with them for an hour. It's $5,000 basically. Oh, yeah. I'm getting of my time. However, what I've decided to do is I've recreated a community where it's not me in it every day. So I don't have to give you $50,000 worth of my time per week. I now have pulled back and I give you less access to me, but it's still a community. Communities is the way to go these days. I can tell you right now that I'm in network marketing and I have my community. There are people that join me in my network marketing company, and they would tell you, I only joined her in network marketing because I want to get in her community. I want to be in proximity with her. They don't even know I have a community, but they join because they just want to be close to me. So if you are good at what you do, you could create a community, a niche community for your avatar of people, right? Because they want what you have. I may not want to pay for your community because it doesn't have any value for me, but once you find your niche and you can create extensions of you with other people, community is great, because that's what people want these days. They want community. So I totally think that everything is a test and a measure. If you believe that you can sell $2,500, $5,000, $7,500 packages, try it. If it don't work, hey, start over and then go into the community. Whatever you believe is right. So I would start with what I believe the most, because that's what's going to succeed. Whatever you believe in the most.
Yeah, I thought about doing both. So my goal is just get the community full, and maybe I'm too high, maybe I'm not. I was debating, and figuring it out and trying to get people in there, but then getting them when they get a taste of it. They get taste of the community, they get a taste of me. Hey, you know what? Let's get you in the other. And all that's negotiable on the one-on-one, and you can handle more people than you think, because you're not booking hours with you. You're dealing with their issues. Okay, you want to do digital marketing, you want to learn lead gen, you want to learn this. Okay, you're helping them out, but the goal was to move them along and still have the community. So, but the other thing I really am getting into now too, and I know you've done this, is speaking. So, when I ran a big company, I used to do all the sales meetings for all our employees, and we had about 600 sales reps and 600 installers every month, and I did it for 8 years. And so then I got asked to do a TED Talk on solar and on being a buffalo and not a cow. And then I've done a couple speaking events, one for the Calgary Flames, one for a company called Fitbit, one for another company, and one trade show. and I loved it. And, I'm inspired by like E.T. is one of my favorites. Ed Milet's pretty good. But I like certain speakers. I love, what's the guy's name? He's got the arm thing. I'm trying to remember his name. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I know you're talking about Nick
Yes.
Sampona.
Yes. And so, certain speakers that I love to hear that just inspire me. And so I'm like, I want to go out and speak because I'm very passionate and high energy, ready to put people through the wall. Let's fucking go. Like, that's how I am. Right. So I'm trying to figure out some gigs and stuff like that. What would you tell a new speaker like me how to build the speaker business up? Because like I'm reaching out to certain people, got shows. I'm like, yo, I'll come speak for you for discount or free. Just get my name out there, getting the credibility, da 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 da. What are the steps I need to take?
There's power in OPS, other people's stages. In the beginning, your goal is to build your portfolio. So you may speak for free. You just want to get out there and do your thing. I never set out to be a public speaker. I just got something to say. And when I open my mouth, people want to listen. So in the beginning, I was on everybody's stage just to showcase my talent and just to practice. And now I've raised my price. It's $25,000. If you want me to show up, if you can't pay $25,000, I'm not coming. And I don't mind you telling me no. It's because I'd really rather be home anyway. So,
Right.
I did a lot of pro bono work, and that pro bono work gave me the credibility and the reels. I have so much footage that I could throw a dope reel together from many other places that I've been to. So everything is not about the money. Something is about just getting on the other people's stages so that more people can see you. Because a lot of times the money is not on the front end. The money's on the back end. When more people get to know you, then they get to buy into your low ticket item, your high ticket item. Again, the only reason why I've raised my price now is because I don't want to travel. But when I get back to being ready to travel, certain people's stages I go on for free. You don't have to pay me no money. If I can get in front of your audience is going to love me. And when they love me, they're going to spend some money with me anyway. So OPS, other people's stages, like you're going to be on my stage. You're on my stage right now. There's people listening to us right now. And you know what they're asking me? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? So I'm literally on live right now. When I tell everybody who you are, they're going to come follow you. And guess what? They may do your niche coaching program because you teach, but I don't teach. So, definitely, I think that just set out to give value to people and continue expanding in terms of training and practicing and podcasting, and that speaking thing blows up just from you having great information and something to say with clear articulation.
Now, do you have a podcast?
No, but I'm working on a very special podcast that's going to be very, very, very different and unique.
I can't wait to find out what it is when you're ready to talk about it.
I'm going to give you a sneak peek. There's a huge epidemic of mother-daughters that just don't get along in my community. And it happens in every community. So just imagine me and my daughter doing a podcast together. And we have a 20-year age gap. So we're going to be able to talk to a lot of people from different places based upon who we are and our age. So I'm happy that I held out because the best podcast is going to be me and my daughter sharing.
That's exciting.
It's very exciting. So
That
I
is
got a lot
exciting.
of.
So my wife and my oldest are 18 years apart. So I've lived through the struggle seeing it. It's tough. It's tough because you're like sisters. Like we talk about it. There's an enmeshment between my wife and my oldest, and she's a different mom than she is to my other three kids because they're so close in age. And you're right. There's a lot to talk about there for women and their daughters when their gap is there because they're like sisters. And how do you coach them and mentor them as a parent and yet not be their friend? Like, it's tough. And it's like cat fighting sometimes at the house. I've had to break up some all out brawls and it's been chaos, but I think that's going to be exciting. I think anybody can do a podcast. I started my podcast during the pandemic just for shits and giggles, and it took off. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I know a lot of football players and some certain celebrities that I'm friends with, and I put them on. All of a sudden, the show took off, and it was real and it was raw. And I was like, I actually like this. I get to meet people like yourself. I get to learn all this great information and network, and be able to learn from things and share things. And it's just a great cross community to build up. So I've loved the podcast. It's exciting. I think you're going to love it.
Are you gonna be a guest on our podcast?
Heck yeah, I'm going to be a guest. You got to let me know. I want to be one of the first guests.
Okay, great. I'm excited. Thank you. Thank you.
No, thank
Awesome.
you. Listen, how can everyone find you right now? What's the best way to contact you? We'll have all your stuff as we post everything, but what's the best way they can find you, Coach Stormy?
Go on Instagram. I'm Coach Stormy on Instagram, or go to stormywellington.com. That's
Hey,
it.
hey, and listen, I still love the outfit. I love the smile. I love the energy. I love the personality. I love the jewelry and the swag and the drip. I'm a fan, girl. I'm a fan. We got to meet sometime. I got to get on stage with you and we got to rock the house one time. Like, I know our energy could fucking crush it.
Oh my God, I'm looking forward to that. Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit you up, share my contact info so you have it. Let's stay in touch. I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing information out there for these entrepreneurs, for these influencers. Everybody listen to the show. The show used to be the True Underdog Show, talking about overcoming adversity and abuse, and then doing things. And then we created the BAM Show, business, attitude, and money, because that's what it's about right now. You're all into the business. You got to have a certain attitude, and you got to have that mindset for the money, right? And so that's why we came up with the BAM podcast. That, and I have a tattoo called BAM on my arm, so that always helps as well. So thank you for coming on the show, Stormy. I appreciate you, girl. Much love. Make sure you give her a follow. Make sure you subscribe to all of her stations. Make sure that you buy her book and check her out, the Stormy Wellington, or you can go Coach Stormy on Instagram. BAM!